And welcome back. We're at part 2 of week 3 of RETCONVERSATIONS, where we'll be dealing exclusively with the DC's New 52. So in part 1, we talked about a lot of stuff. Like, so I'm trying to kind of steamroll through some of these issues here. Because I'm trying to separate some of the garbage, or not garbage per se, but just some of the weaker titles from the better ones, or the really bad ones. And right now we're going to talk controversy. We're going to talk about the 2 most controversial issues of this week. It's kind of a smoky segment here, so going to be sucking on some death sticks here. Coffin nails, whatever you want to call them. Cancer sticks. Anyway, easily the most controversial issue of this week, Catwoman #1. Judd Winnick, Guillaume March doing the art. Now, Judd Winnick is one of those kind of hit-or-miss writers. I liked Under the Hood. Thought that was a really good. I thought that was a really good miniseries. I actually enjoyed more the animated the DC Universe animated film that they made of it. I don't know why. I just did. And fuck. This problem with Roll Your Own is that they tend to extinguish pretty quickly if you're not like constantly puffing on it. So anyway, again, Judd Winnick, kind of a hit-or-miss writer. I really liked Batwing. I thought that was a really, really strong first issue. An introduction to a much different character from the Bat family. And Catwoman is definitely extended family as far as the Bat family is concerned. Although this issue says that she is, definitely not family. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to put this out here right up front. I like this issue. I thought it was strong. I thought it was a pretty well done issue. I was entertained. It moved something in me, and I'm not just talking about the final scene. But it just worked, I thought. So the big controversy, of course, is the final scene of the book. Not the final page so much, but the final scene, in which Batman's there, with Selina, and they start to make out, and essentially they have sex. This is something that's been not only necessarily implied, but it's been something that's been pretty directly, stated in previous issues, or in previous Batman Catwoman encounters, at the during the whole Heart of Hush storyline in Detective Comics. It's the finale of Paul Dini's run on that. There was definitely some sex going on. There was kind of like a day after. Morning after sex reference in the final issue of that arc, but this is a little bit more explicit. It's not explicit, but it's there. Yes, I mean, through the opening sequence we have one of Catwoman. She hasn't zipped her costume all the way up, so one of her breasts is like hanging out. It's covered by a bra, of course, but that's what's going on. Again, I liked the final scene. I thought it was good. What it showed me is, okay, these are people who are so kind of romantically damaged that there's a certain desperation to it. It's a certain desperate passion that they have that's unlocked. And I enjoyed that. I liked the fact that these two are, they know that each other, they're damaged goods. and the only people that they can really kind of get off with are each other. And I don't mind that one bit. I think that's, you know, that's one of the things that I like about it. I mean, that's one of the things that I actually really liked about it. I thought that scene was pretty dramatic, and it was kind of sexy. And, I mean, it's Catwoman. I mean, she is ultimately, she's a complicated character, absolutely. There have been much better Catwoman comics, and there have been much worse Catwoman comics, okay? You know, obviously, Ed Brubaker, Darwin Cook, when they were doing Catwoman, that was pretty much Catwoman at the top of her game. That was when she was at her coolest, at her best. This is not in the middle. This is close to, this is really, I think it's good stuff. I don't really get why so many people are kind of flying into a rage about this. You know, DC Women kicking ass. You know, I follow them on, you know, on Twitter, and, you know, I head over to the Tumblr page every once in a while, and it's like, I don't understand why they're so upset. I don't understand why so many people seem to be so upset. You know, so that's me. I liked it. Some of you are probably going to disagree. If you do, let me know. Okay. Another controversial comic this week. Red Hood and the Outlaws. First of all, this shouldn't be controversial because this is a horrible book. The first issue alone just screamed, stay away. If you know what's good for you, stay away from this book. Because it's so awful. I mean, it was like, I was really, really, really hesitant to get a book that featured both Jason Todd and Roy Harper post, you know, Rise and Fall, you know, the whole cat thing, you know, where it's like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? You know, there's the whole thing, you know, harkening back, you know, a lot of the controversy about Red Hood and the Outlaws is, you know, has very little to do with either Jason Todd, who seems to be, they seem to be almost ripping off, maybe I'm mistaken here, but they seem to be kind of like ripping off Moon Knight with his character a little bit. It's like that he had, you know, it's like he's having this conversation with somebody that no one else can see. So it's like, okay, is he really totally insane, or is he, you know, is there some kind of astral projection shit going on here? I don't know. I don't get it. But the big controversy, of course, is Coriander. You know, Starfire basically seems like that she is this unbelievably hypersexualized, you know, female, that she has sex with any man that happens to be in eyeshot, that she has no memory of her time with the Teen Titans, has no memory of her being with Dick Grayson for a very long time, and that she just seems to fuck anybody that she wants, and Roy Harper is more than glad to go along with that. So that was, you know, so this is, you know, the whole kind of DC women in refrigerators thing that has, you know, gained a lot of momentum more recently than at any point that I can remember. Whereas, you know, of course, harkening back to the issue of Green Lantern where, you know, Kyle Rayner's girlfriend was killed and was stuffed into a refrigerator. So, I mean, that was kind of indicative of the way that females were being represented in comic books. That's, you know, that they're just there as either sex objects, or they're the, you know, the damsel in distress, or they are simply the victim of horrible, unspeakable death. I get that with this comic. It's a horrifically stupid characterization of Corey. It's a horrifically stupid comic. all in all, because okay, I get that they're, again, it seems like that they're trying to reach for kind of a Secret Six-ish vibe, and completely and totally failing, just like Suicide Squad did. But what's most upsetting to me, I guess, is the potential that this comic book had, or the potential for. See, what I would have really liked to have seen is a solo Red Hood comic, in which he is he's dealing justice in his own way, type of thing, as opposed to him having to team up. And I guess he could have been sort of like the DC Universe's Punisher type of character. I don't like the fact that he's got the bat on his chest. It does nothing for his character. It's just, I mean, this book is just, it's when I actually receive it, because like I said, I've been downloading all of these through Comixology on my tablet, because I'm waiting to get them, and I want to read them. And I almost and I deleted this one immediately, because I don't ever want to see it again. When I actually received the paper copy of it, I don't know whether to frame it or put it in the trash, because it's like, this is the perfect example of how not to write a comic. So I mean, because this isn't even a retcon, it's just it's actually a continuing story of where these people have been, kind of. Although it seems to completely ignore the whole Arsenal's complete and total breakdown. So useless. I mean, totally useless, totally stupid. And just I wish there wasn't a controversy about this comic, because it's just so incredibly awful that it doesn't deserve controversy. It doesn't deserve any attention whatsoever. I mean, this is probably, arguably, the biggest misstep that they've made so far. I'm also thinking that Action Comics #1 is also is real close to being one of the biggest missteps of this universe, of the new DCU, or the DC New U, or whatever the fuck they want to call it. It's just so Catwoman controversy, I understand it. I don't agree with it. I think it works. I think it actually makes it better. Red Hood and the Outlaws, so bad that people shouldn't even regard it as being a controversial comic, because it's just so awful. So that's pretty much it for the stuff that has controversy. So stick around. We're going to pick it up, and we're going to talk some of the better stuff. So stay tuned.